Well, hey, everybody, welcome to Mappy Hour. This is our happy hour for those of us who love maps, also known as geocachers. So good to see everybody. Hello, welcome. Let me just check my volume settings here, just a moment. Okay, that's on quiet. All right, excellent. Okay, trying to keep echoing to a minimum here. Cool. Well, I am Lisa, Lookout Lisa from Cache Advance, and I am joined by our co-host.
JD, Kid Vegas 19.
Yeah, so welcome everybody to Mappy Hour. Today is June, what is today? June 6th, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah, wow. Can't believe it's almost summertime effect. Yeah, thanks, Melissa. Yeah, six.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it feels like we're already in the middle of summer here a little bit. It's been kind of hot off and on, but we have a lot more summer ahead of us, so I'm excited for the nicer weather for geocaching. So our topic tonight is gadget caches. And before we get to our topic, though, we do have other things to discuss. We'll do our notes from the field. Love to know what sort of geocaching adventures folks have been up to in the last couple of weeks or since you've been with us lately, or just your highlights so far of the year. And to keep everything moving along, we'll keep our notes from the field limited to just 2 minutes per group or window per person. We would be, well, I guess per person, that's fine. Yeah. But before we go there, I do have some ground rules just to keep everything moving along smoothly here in our Mappy Hour. Treat this like you would any geocaching event. There might be kids in the room with us. This is live streaming to our YouTube channel and is also being recorded to be uploaded to the Mappy Hour Hub. So yeah, keep it family friendly. Keep yourself on mute if you're just listening in, and if you'd like to join in the conversation, such as notes from the field or join in our main topic about gadget caches, just raise your hand here in the Zoom room. And if you're watching us on YouTube, hi everybody on YouTube. JD is monitoring that. And just go ahead and type in if you've got a comment or a question or an answer, if you're watching on YouTube, and then JD Kid Vegas 19 will bring that into our discussion. And if you've got something out of order, you didn't have your hand up, but maybe you've got a perfect answer for somebody, or something to add on to the discussion, just wave at the camera, and we can do our best to then bring you into the conversation. Out of order, that's fine. Sometimes we're all a little out of order, right? So I see we've got folks joining us from northern Utah, Oregon. Oh, Melissa, it's your anniversary. Oh, yeah, so that's why you know it's the 6th. Excellent. Well, happy anniversary, Melissa. Um, let's see, Virginia, Yorktown, Pittsburgh, hey, yeah, Jacksonville, Las Vegas. Oh my goodness. Ada, Ohio, of course, Mesa, Arizona, Dr. D. Yeah, yeah. Smoky, Ottawa, Ontario. I can't believe it's fire season already. Yeah, we drove by a small forest fire last Sunday. Was it
Yeah, coming back.
coming
Yeah.
back from Kalispell? Yeah, but we'll talk about that maybe in our notes from the field when we get there. And of course, we've got folks from Michigan and Spokane as well. So we're in Spokane Valley, which is close to the Idaho border, about 4 miles or 4 hours inland from Seattle, from
Yep.
headquarters HQ. So I think we're ready to roll into our notes from the field. So I've got a bunch of hands up, and I'm not sure in which order they
I
came
know
up.
Robert was first
Yeah, so
because he
yeah.
raised his hand like Monday.
Yep.
Okay.
He's lost all blood from his hand, I'm sure. So we'll start with Robert, and then we'll go Jim Starcasher, and then Scott, and then Melissa. So go ahead, Robert. What you been up to?
Yeah, so I've been in and out of the rainstorms here in Colorado. So I finally got some geocaching on Wednesday, got two geocaches found. Um, Unfortunately, one of the caches I found, I didn't see it. I stepped in a pile of dog poop. So I got that all over my shoes and I had to clean that off. But hey, that's part of geocaching. And then I picked up another trackable to take along with me to Cache Fest, and just been working and maintaining my caches and keeping them all nice and pretty. I got a new geocache put out that was a half of a baseball with a log in it that I put out called "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
I love
Oh,
it.
cool.
Is it near a ballpark?
Yes,
Cool. Cool. Well, sorry to hear about the dog poo. That's always a bummer.
it's all right. I also like what you did with your hair, Lisa. Looks
Oh,
good.
hey. Thank you.
You do something with your hair?
Yeah, I did. He does that every time. Thanks. Yeah, I'm gonna have to tell my hairdresser, or stylist, salon gal, what a good job she's done because I've gotten so many compliments. So thank you. And this isn't even, styled.
Looks
Cool.
like Jackie Kennedy.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, brownie points for you. Thanks. All right. So I think we had Starcasher next.
Uh, uh, I had to make notes so I could be quick on my summary of my 2 week plan or my 15-day long trip here. Uh, that included, of course, the our Geo Woodstock and many amusement parks. Uh, Basically, the it was like I said, it was 15 days. I just got back Monday, late Monday of this week. I finally ended. Uh, one of my main goals, besides attending the you know Jill Woodstock and my amusement parks, is I want to connect my contiguous counties over to the Atlantic Ocean because I already had north and south. I had Florida to Ohio, which is north south. So now I want to go to the east, and eventually I'll do the west coast. But because there are challenges that are for that. But anyways, I did summarize here. I did 5 days in Morgantown for the Geo Woodstock, and I talked to Lisa and mentioned that of course I had to leave Saturday evening so that I could drive to Bowie, Maryland, which is just east of Washington, D.C., because I had to be there Sunday morning to go to my Six Flags America amusement park because it was going to only be open that Sunday and the Monday of that week. Well, be later in the week. But anyways, they announced that they were going to close that amusement park at the end of the year. So I had to go there. I wanted to spend more than one day there. So I had to skip the last day of Woodstock to get there. So, anyways, that Bowie, Maryland, also happens to be in the county that I needed to start the rest of the contiguous counties to the Atlantic Ocean. I had already gotten to Washington D.C. with the Geo Woodstock that was in what was it,
Boonesboro.
Maryland?
Mhm.
Well, Maryland, yeah, about 8 years ago. So I had already got that far. But anyways, so I did the 5 days at Morgantown. I did 2 days in Bowie, Maryland, doing the Six Flags. Then I continued my county track over to Delaware, which was the Atlantic Ocean, and I got three, all three of them Delaware counties. So I actually have a state that's completed now. That's the first state I've completed. Uh, but I also drove up to it was Allentown, Pennsylvania, which is kind of northwest of Philadelphia, just shortly. But anyways, because that's where Dorney Amusement Park is, and so I spent 3 days in Dorney Amusement Park. But of course, and I did all the counties, up to there. And so I spent the 3 days there, and then I drove from Dorney back home. Uh, and there are a lot of counties in Pennsylvania that I picked up. So I connected contiguous counties that way too. So now I have two paths to get to the Atlantic Ocean. And then I spent a half a day at Cedar Point on the way home, on the last day, just because, so I basically had 3 amusement parks, 5.5 days at amusement parks and 5 days in Morgantown. So that was a, you know, very wonderful trip. So I picked up Delaware and New Jersey are new states for me. And I picked up a total of 40 new counties. There was 4 in Ohio, 21 in Pennsylvania, 3 in West Virginia, 3 in New Jersey, 3 in Delaware, and 6 in Maryland that were all new to me. So 40 new counties. So,
All right. Good work.
and I should also mention, I got the oldest in Delaware, the caching across Americas. I got West Virginia, New Jersey, and Delaware, and the Cache Odyssey. I got Ohio's, West Virginia, and Delaware's. So it was a major trip here.
Sounds
I
like
would
it.
say,
Some
yeah.
good planning and it all worked out. So,
Mhm.
and it was great to see you as well.
Yep. Oh well, I've spent more than my time, so
Well, you had a busy time.
It was an adventure.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, thanks.
Thanks, Jim.
Yeah. I think it's Scott next, right?
Do you sometimes do
It
that?
is. Found some caches, hit some caches, but I think the 3 unusual things that happened. One, Dr. D picked up a travel bug of mine, which I thought was really cool.
Oh,
2, I have 3 different premium accounts that I'm in charge of, and all of them brought up their adventure labs. They got eligible for their adventure lab, so I set an adventure lab here in town at a cute little park. Set an adventure lab at the very newly opened Chumash Museum up in Santa Ynez. That turned out really well. And then I've set aside an adventure lab that's going to be used in San Diego for a geo art they have down there. Um, let's see. And then the most important and most exciting thing is, let me see if I can do this really quickly, is this has been my background for a little while, talking about Signal Islands, but there's my new background, Signal Island Block Party. We got our block party status.
congratulations.
And we're ready to rock and roll out there. So, yep, so that's it. And I'm going to put a link to our website because it has a lot more information
Okay.
than just the cache page. That's it.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for hosting 2 weeks ago while we
Oh.
were on our way to bed, I think.
Oh, always my pleasure, Lisa,
Yeah,
anytime.
appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, I think we've got Melissa, Leonard, and then Tom, and then Charles.
So it's been busy with caching and with other things. Had a fantastic time down at Geo Woodstock. And if any of you don't know, the team that put on Geo Woodstock is going to start an annual event in 2026 in October in the Morgantown area. So if you didn't get a chance to go, or you went and there were so many caches you want to go back, there will be opportunity. Last weekend went to a bridal shower out of town, and it was Mr. Rogers' hometown. So they have a neat cache there at the Mr. Rogers. And so we did that. And I think we got a couple more before we left town. It was really cold last Saturday. So, and we were dressed for a bridal shower, so not too much caching.
What's the hometown?
Latrobe, Pennsylvania.
Latrobe, that's right.
It's
Okay.
also the home of the banana split.
Wow.
Yeah,
What?
so there's another cache that we didn't do that involves that. Because it was a multi, and like I said, we were cold. But today was our 38th wedding anniversary, and my husband's has national fraternity was in town to present him a special award. And so I had a dinner party for 32 people at my house.
Oh my gosh. Just tonight?
Yeah, I did have it catered. So, but they finished in time for me to get here. But I'm heading off to Utah with my husband to celebrate a calm week. But he's up for doing a little geocaching with me. So one day we're in northern Utah. So one day we're driving up to Wyoming to a little town that has a couple of cute museums, and one of the museums has a cache in it. So we're going to do that. Hiking Seal, the place we're staying, has a really cool mystery cache that we're planning on doing. And then the place for the Cache Odyssey cache is about an hour south of us. So we're going to take a day and go down and do that one. So, and then we'll just spend a day in Salt Lake City seeing it. But we're trying not to do too much and yet hit some of the big highlights for the trip.
Yeah. There's a lot to do in Utah. It's a big state too. Yeah. Sounds like fun. Yeah. Great anniversary trip. Well, we expect a full report in 2 weeks. Yeah, Scott wants to know if you're planning to do Potter's Pond, which is south of Salt Lake. But it's up in the mountains. I'm not even sure it's accessible yet.
It might not be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very early one.
Yeah, it's one of the early ones, and the counterpart that when you decide you want to get the really old ones, is the one that's closest to you is Lake Lanier in Georgia. Same month.
That's the same month as Lake Lanier. Okay, I couldn't remember. Yeah, I had an opportunity to go up and get Potter's Pond. I didn't need that month. I'd already had that month for my Fizzy and my car. I had to have my car in the shop while everybody else went up. So that didn't work out. Oh well. Yeah, it's one of the 4 remaining for August 2000. So take a look. But it'd be a trek if you guys are in northern Utah. And again, it might not be accessible this early in the season. It's high up. Cool. Thanks, Melissa.
Thanks, Melissa.
Yeah. So we've got Leonard next.
Hello all. Last month, first find marked 15 years, the streak's still alive.
Wow.
Secured in this month a few days ago. And nice seeing several of you down there at West Virginia. It was kind of a whirlwind trip on my behalf. It was fly in Friday, Woodstock Saturday, fly back Sunday. Right after that, Thursday, we turned around, flew to Montana for a wedding, and took one day, drove up north past Libby to see my dad. That's where I happened to find the only Gadget cache of the trip, which happened to have Scott's travel bug sitting in it. Kind of ironic. And yes, Scott, I did write a good note. I'm sure you saw that. Did a little caching to Montana and a quick trip back down here to hell, where we're already popping. Monday is going to be 108.
Oh my goodness.
Other than that, West Virginia is actually the farthest back east I've cached now. Oh,
Wow.
Never know. There might be another event. But being Woodstock's going to be back over closer to us this year. Another reason to head back up there. So we'll probably see several of you at Woodstock this year.
Yep.
In Kansas?
Yep.
Yeah, planning on it.
That's correct.
Awesome. Well, it's good to see you. I bet you enjoyed the cool weather back there.
Oh, yeah.
Good. All right. Thanks, Leonard. All right. We've got Tom and then Charles.
Yeah. So today I moved my Bigfoot's bench cache across the street to the library and renamed it Finish Your Book Volume 2. It's under, I had a cache underneath the book return when the cache was in Gilchrist. But Yep, they moved the library, so I've got it under the same buck return. They just moved it. So and last Wednesday I went across the mountain and went to an event in Corvallis, Oregon, and showed off my old 30-year-old GPS.
Oh my goodness.
So, so Agent Loco, you may have met her at Geo Woodstock in Morgantown. It was her 7th event in 7 days.
Wow.
And I don't think she did an 8th one. She did. It was at the event in Morgantown, and had an event last Wednesday over there. And while I was on my way over the mountain, I stopped and replaced the cache that's high up in the mountains. Geo landslide.
Oh.
It's been around a few years. It was a little bit damp inside, but I just replaced it, and so that's about all I've been doing in the past week or 10 days.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds busy anyway.
Let's see. The other news is that Mac Tippins will be back on the job at Middle Sister Lookout in Idaho on July 1st. That's his first scheduled day. Hopefully he can get there through the snow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
July 1st.
It's melting fast, but
Yep. Yeah, there's some lookouts in Idaho that will not be staffed this year.
Yeah.
He was just lucky enough to get chosen. So
Well, good.
that's it.
I'm glad he's back. Cool. Well, thank you. Yeah. All right, Charles. Good to see you again too.
Yeah, good to thank you. Thank you. It was great to see you in Geo Woodstock in Morgantown and run into Melissa also. Also in the library while we're doing. I was completing the Geo tour and she was starting the Geo tour.
Yeah.
Oh, took me 2 days to complete the Geo tour. We missed the library, the one library that was closing at 5 p.m. We missed it by about half an hour. So I had to go back from basically Pittsburgh all the way down to back to the library because I was staying at a campground near just south of Pittsburgh, Washington. Washington campground there. But no, it's been a pretty. What's odd I have done this last few weeks? Well, it's been a pretty busy month of May. I've still like Vince has a few caches to log for last month. Quite a few lot to do. But right now, I've established a personal best for a month of caching, and I'm at 1,692 logged.
Wow.
Yes. I've had, I went to CMAG, did over there. I did another mega block party in Ontario, and then I went to Geo Woodstock. So it just kept going and going and going. Came back home, go back to work so I can rest a little bit.
Yeah.
So on your trip, did the Pooches and your wife were they with you all these events?
No, they were not. They didn't come to CMAG at Attleboro, Massachusetts, near Boston, but they were at the one in St. Thomas, Ontario, same weekend as ASP. We get big saga behind all of between those two events. ASP has already got theirs published for next year, so I think they gave them this status for next year that they needed. They had the 300 people, but it was just an event. They couldn't get the block party. They were just too close to another one that was given block party status. Anyways,
Hmm.
lots of lots of drama on that, and
Yeah.
it takes many beers to talk it over. So, apart from that, I was in this past week. I was in Thunder Bay, Ontario,
Mhm.
and I managed to find one of the oldest in Ontario caches there. Not the oldest, but there we have a little series of 100 oldest. So I got those. And this week I've been planning a little drive for next weekend. Go do somewhere around 1,400 miles in order to get basically almost finish the Northeast Cache Odyssey challenge. I'll be missing two after that.
Wow.
So up from Ottawa down to Rhode Island, Connecticut down to I got New York already, so it'll be Delaware, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, back to Pennsylvania. So really targeting, so lots of distance, not many caches, but what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yes, go Blue Jays, and more importantly, go Edmonton, go! It's playing right there.
Mhm.
Yeah, game two, right? Yeah.
Game 2, 3-2 Edmonton for Edmonton.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll probably tune into that a little later. Yeah, it's pretty exciting, the first game.
Mhm.
Yeah. Cool. Well, good to see you again. And it's good to see the pooches and the misses as well.
That's
Um,
my story of Woodstock. I could always find the pooches and Charles' wife, but where's Charles? I just have to look around. Oh, there he is. Okay. We're too far away.
zagging a little
Yeah,
bit.
those pooches were they're very popular.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So darn cute.
No kidding. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you. Yeah, well, we had some adventures last couple of weeks.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you want to get
Well,
off?
we went to Geo Woodstock,
Yeah.
and for those that didn't know, it was in Morgantown, West Virginia
Mhm.
this year, and I still have that damn song in my head, and
Yes. Could be worse songs,
I
but
guess.
yeah, I do too.
Uh, Great time there. The weather just wasn't good until after.
Until we were stuck inside, then the
Yeah.
weather got great. I wouldn't say stuck, but yeah, we went in Wednesday and were able to, we flew into Pittsburgh and then our rental and drove down and then did the Country Roads Coin
Mhm.
Challenge all day Thursday. And that was a lot of fun. It was fun to drive all those country roads. Although it was wet, it was really rainy.
Mhm.
And then attended that evening event out at the park. And then we were able to also set up our booth early. And from a vending perspective, this was one of the best events put together for our logistics. 'Cause we were able to set up a booth Thursday night, and then it's inside, it's locked up. We don't have to worry about it, and then come back the next
Mhm.
day. And it was a 2-day vending event, so it was great. We had lots of opportunity to talk with everybody as they trickled through for 2 full days. Not even trickle, more like
Yeah.
a lot of people.
It was a flood, man.
Yeah, yeah. Where some of the events, you're only there for 6 hours and you're trying to, talk with everybody on top of, vending as well. So this made it a lot more spread out and manageable and more fun. Um, One of the other joys of vending at events, I probably mentioned it before, is we get to see everybody. We're in one place and everybody comes through to visit, see what all the vendors have. Otherwise, if you're just attending, which we also do, it's hard to see everybody because you're moving and everybody else is moving. So this was a ton of fun. Then Sunday, we did some more caching around the area, did a lot of cleanup of the
Mhm.
things that we weren't able to finish. And of course, Midnight Madness was just a hoot. That was
Yeah.
a really fun event. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jim, that you missed that Saturday night event. It was a lot of fun.
It was well done as
It
well.
was,
Yeah.
yeah. We never know what to expect with Midnight Madness. Sometimes it's just madness. This was fun.
And sometimes it's just midnight.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
one was
exactly. It's just midnight in a hotel. Yeah. And then worked our way back up to Pittsburgh for an evening flight home. So we had lots of time.
On
We really
Monday,
planned on Monday. Yeah. So we had time. We had planned time on either end to explore more. But I'm excited that they're going to be having more events. Hoping to be an annual sort of event in October, kind of to fill that time slot that going caching. Um, doesn't have anymore since they have retired. So they're one of a couple of events that hope to be more annual in October time. So yeah, it's a long trek for us across the country, but it was sure would be fun to go back and spend more time there. We had a good time.
Yeah, so and we saw a lot of people that are on Mappy Hour on a regular basis. Met them in person for the first time. One of the one of the funnier stories is our friend, his geocaching name is Schwant,
Oh, yeah.
and his real name is Michael Schwant, and he like knows everybody. He knows everybody.
Everybody.
And so we go stand in line to redeem our country road passports to get the coin with me and Schwant, and we start talking with people, and we're talking with this guy in front of us that I'm sure Schwant knows because we're talking Bill like what, maybe 5 minutes or so, and Michael Schwant says, "Oh, by the way, I'm Michael Schwant," and I'm Bill Hodges, and then wait a minute, that Bill Hodges? so, so yeah, I got to meet Bill, saw Enrique there.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Who else did we see there? I'm gonna leave somebody out.
Chad.
Chad, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Ryan.
oh, Ryan,
Of course,
yeah.
Ryan. Yeah.
And then of course Charles
Yeah.
and his pooches and his wife.
Yeah.
But what we didn't see was Charles' volunteer shirt, but oh well. And then
Of course, Nancy as well.
well, Nancy, Bob,
Yeah.
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 The
Yeah, she's like, hello.
then we met Mike, two steps
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
And I still got your NFC little puck, 3D printed puck. Yep, that's
I'm just
cool.
looking at that. Yeah.
I'm packing boxes for my geocaching class tomorrow.
There you are. Okay.
Excellent. Cash crate boxes. I love it.
Yep.
That was so cool. Maybe if we have time, I'd love for you to share about that either today or another time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Apparently, Pet Check came early.
Then last weekend's adventure was in Kalispell, Montana. To the main goal was to watch my get this grandson get this graduate high school.
Yeah.
So we did that.
Yep.
I was excited because uh, I went to that school, my son went to that school, my grandkids are going to that school. So I'm telling her, uh, back in my day, one of the people that was in the, each high school has their little sports hall of fame, right? And that little Montana town in their sports hall of fame had a picture of the guy that scored the very first touchdown ever for the Seattle Seahawks. And I'm so, okay, I'm going to go in. I've told her about this a number of times. We're going to go in. I'm going to show the picture. The outside of the high school looks the same, but the inside is different. And gone is this picture. And replaced is like another 40 years of sports from this high school picture.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It's all the truth, Hilo.
Yeah.
And so there was that, and then how it is in the entire town had changed, and I'm going to places that aren't there anymore, and we stayed at a little Airbnb, and my son asked, "Well, geez, how'd you end up there?" And I said, "Well, it took a while. First, we had to wait 30 years for it to be built."
Yeah. It was further out of town where
Yeah,
it was just fields before, I bet. Yeah.
So yeah, that was always fun. And then we got some geocaching in town, mostly the only two adventure labs in the entire town. And
Really? Casper only has two.
That's a pretty big town.
Yeah, and that was a sponsored one too.
They were good.
They were good. They really kind of wound around each other, so it was easy to finish them all together. And yeah, they were well done. It was fun. And we had a heat wave. It was mid 90s.
Yeah.
In the
That's
afternoon,
Saturday.
it was hot. It was crazy, weird weather. It was like somebody opened up an oven for an afternoon, and then I got cool again. It's
And
weird.
then then on the way home that Sunday, we stopped. The must do on the way back was a couple of challenge caches that we qualified for.
Yeah.
And so uh, we really made a beeline home because this guy, as you
He's
can
sick.
tell, he got sick and
Yeah. Yeah. Our last day coming home from Woodstock, our pet sitter called and he was ill. Um, and that he recovered from that, but it triggered, he has what's called feline herpes, probably TMI, but it's not communicable to people, but it is to other cats. And it triggered that. And so he's been very snuffly and miserable and very clingy. But we've been to the vet and got him on, new round of meds, and he's doing much better. So, but we weren't sure how he was doing. Hadn't seen him. We have cat cameras, and he hadn't made an appearance for like 13, 14 hours. So we were rushing home, and he was fine, just snuffly, sleeping it off, I guess. He's been sleeping a lot. So yeah, this is 17-year-old snuffle on
yeah.
his helo. So yeah, that was a good time. It was fun to definitely really cool to be up there for the graduation and the big party and all. And it was just a lot right after coming back from Woodstock too. Yeah,
Yeah, and Scott, I do have credit, and we talked about putting one there as well. Um, so the two that are there are pretty much the walking tours, so that's covered. It would have to be creative, and then uh, I would like to have a nice bonus to go with it as well.
Mhm.
And so that would having to enlist my son
Mhm.
into being the what do they call it?
Caretaker,
Caretaker,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's on the agenda.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we were fairly busy this trip.
Yeah, yeah, it's no wonder I came home really tired after all of that. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Somebody really did miss us, I think. Yeah. Okay.
So
Well, I think we have a little bit of time left for our topic, gadget caches. So we had some fun, of course, in West Virginia, Tim, and all the other amazing gadget caches that are out there that I decided to make that the challenge for the Geo Challenge of the month as well is to find or hide a gadget cache. And I thought it'd be a great topic to bring forward. And we just happened to have one of the experts, Chad Tricashius, in the rooms with us. And if he would like to share anything, I'm not going to force you to, but if you'd like to, raise your hand and we can talk about what you've got going on in Gilby and maybe some other caches, but um, around the area that you're maybe
mhm.
working on or have. And so I'd love to hear from folks, maybe if you've put any out, if you've hidden any, where you've got one or two, and ones that you found, what makes them really fun, what's been, exciting for you around gadget caches.
And then those for those of you that were at Woodstock and did the Wharf Adventure Lab,
Mhm.
that particular gadget cache in the escape room. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Plus we've got Scott's hand.
So this is a gadget cache that we had at the Ojai Valley Inn, and we stopped doing geocaching there, so I now have it in my storeroom that I have to put it out. But I absolutely loved it. The gadget part of it's real easy. You just, pull a little thing and then you can pull a drawer out. But you need to get a combination to get in. And so when you pull the drawer out, you open it up, and there are 6 different essential oils in there, and they all have a number on them. And then you have a list of rosemary, rosemary, thyme, I'm not sure, lavender, and you have to be able to identify by smell which one is which, and when you put them in order, that gives you the combination to the lock. And it was really cool because we had it at the artist cottage at the Ojai Valley Inn, where they do scents and essential oils and mixture oil and essential oil. So it was really a nice tie-in. And
Mhm.
again, one of these days I'm gonna have to find a place in the wild to go put it out there.
Hmm.
For sure. Yeah. We did a cache like that in Georgia,
Yeah, it was a
going
cache.
caching some years ago. And unfortunately, the people ahead of us, somebody ahead of us had mixed up the lids. So you didn't know what the number was that associated with a certain scent for the,
Hmm.
so that got a little mixed up. But it was put back together eventually,
Yeah.
corrected, and we were able to do it. So that was really cool. Yeah.
And I think to me one of the final touches or the chef's kiss of a gadget cache is like that where it fits its environment and complements where it's at. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. Something special around the area. Yeah.
Oh, and then uh you two, we got Houston, Texas Dave in the audience.
He says, cute kitty, thanks. Yeah, he's, oh goodness. Being
Hmm.
squirrely. So, Melissa,
Melissa.
yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the Fairmont County Geo Tour gadgets. And it had 6 paint sticks that were the last 3 digits of the coordinates. And the paint sticks were different lengths, and you slid them into slots. And the idea was you wanted the paint sticks to be the right height. And you had to get the ones on the top the right height and the ones on the bottom the right height. And, you were going back and forth. Well, we walked up and this couple had been working on it for half an hour and he was getting nowhere. I don't know if he was real happy. I think he was real happy because I solved it in like a minute. But I thought it was really cool. And he was like, well, that's quite match. I'm like, I think it's within an eighth of an inch. I think that's the same height. And I think that was his problem. They were close, but they were like just a hair off. And he was thinking those didn't match.
Hmm.
And I'm like, no, trust me, let's just go with this. Let's keep going. But then it was a multi that gave you the coordinates that you then had to go find. And the find then it wasn't a gadget cache, that part, but it was hidden well and interesting and fun too. So I thought that one was very well done and really enjoyed it, and was one that we really got to do. So many people had gone through them. A couple of them weren't as they originally should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think a couple other ones would have been really cool too, but we basically just got to find them. We didn't have to really solve something for, but the hike through the woods was enough of a challenge. So, but yeah, I just really thought the paint sticks and the different heights and stuff and having to figure that out was a cool gadget.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Having to physically manipulate something, that's a part of a win for me as well. 'Cause I like working with my hands. So I talk with my hands. Cool. Thanks, Melissa.
And it's not a gadget cache, but I posted it in the notes. I did publish my community celebration event, which is happening June 26th here in the South Hills of Pittsburgh. If anyone happens to be in the area, besides celebrating 25 years of geocaching, it's also my 60th birthday. So I'm
All right.
inviting people to come have a birthday celebration.
All right, that's awesome. I wish we were closer. We would come. Cool, thanks. Let's see. I think we've got Chad
Chad.
next.
Chad and then Tom. Yep.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tri Cassius from Gilby, North Dakota. I usually am out in the shop at this time, so I'm usually just listening on the either Facebook or YouTube, but I don't get to talk to many people very often. But yeah, I enjoy the heck out of making fun gadget caches, and I had a lot of fun going around West Virginia there. Seeing you guys as well as some of the neat caches they had out there. That's pretty neat, all of them out they had. They did a lot of work. They did a nice
Yeah.
job.
Yeah. So Chad, when you create a gadget cache, do you have like any criteria in mind? Do you have like levels of hardness that you want them to be, or is there a maybe even a formula? You got to do this, and then you have the find, or it opens up.
Yeah, it really varies on the people. If you go in a group of 2, 3, 4, there's always somebody that maybe will figure out this part or that part. I try not to make them too hard because I don't want people not to find them.
Right.
But the big thing to me is it's got to be easily resettable. So once they're done, they can pretty much walk away and it'll reset itself or things like that. I do have some that are electric, but I use kind of bigger batteries, so I don't have to change batteries, but once a year maybe. But yeah, that's a difficult thing. I did put one out. Captain Math contacted a bunch of different cachers to put caches up in Morgantown, right in the park area. And I learned a lesson there that I made it maybe a little too difficult. I should have made it a little easier because there was a long line of people several times. So I probably made it a little more difficult than it probably should have. So I learned a little bit there. And I'm learning, I know West Virginia Tim has said it many times, make sure your logs are big enough to get a lot of names on it. So I've got a few out in the Gilby area that are smaller tubes and that don't hold near enough names sometimes. But yeah, I enjoy the heck out of making them. I spend a lot of time out in the shop playing with them, that's for sure.
Well, nice.
Well, that's a good tip for putting out gadget caches around a big event, to expect a lot of people to come through and perhaps make it so it's faster to do, I guess. And then, of course, the bigger log. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah.
It's interesting you say about the difficulty level. I watched on Geocache Talk Network. They were talking with the father-son duo that had built the puzzle that was attached to the Wharf Adventure Lab.
Okay.
And they were saying that it's a fine line between making a cache easy enough to find to keep the line moving, and you were wrong if the line is too long. So yeah, so almost exactly the same words you said.
Okay, yeah.
So Scott's waving his hand.
Oh, go ahead, Scott.
Chad, what do you think about putting red herrings into your gadget caches?
I have a few that have that. Some of them do throw a lot of people off. I've seen it on lots of caches that have red herrings on them. You gotta kind of look past it, I guess. But I do have a few that do that. Yeah, it doesn't bother me, but I'm on the other end of the cache too. So that's the hard part for me is trying to figure out how difficult it's going to be.
Exactly.
So I'll have my 2 kids, they're adults now, but I'll have them come out to the shop and watch what they do, and then either make something a little stronger or whatever, trying to make it a little easier for them to get in. But yeah, I like red herrings. I do use it a number of times. I know the one in West Virginia was kind of like a strongman at the fair cache where you hit the hammer and the tube comes out. But I made it so the tube doesn't come out, and actually the handle of the the hammer unscrewed, and there was a key there that unlocked the cache. Well, it would come out just a little ways. So you could just grab it with your fingers, but you couldn't pull it out. Well, then somebody went along and grabbed it with a pair of pliers and tore it out of there and broke it, and it never did go back together right. So
Oh my
it was
goodness.
kind of disappointing to see that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That
Thank
is
you
the
for your
one
answer.
challenge.
Yeah, so that was kind of disappointing, like I say, but all the caches that I have around here, it doesn't take a lot of force necessary. I mean, I've got a bigger strongman cache that you do have to hit pretty hard to get it to come out the top. That was one of the first ones I put out. But and like I say, they get so in September we have an event called Gilby Gone Wild, and we'll get a couple hundred people at, and I don't want people at the event, tell you the truth. I prefer to have the people show up before or after. You don't want to wait in line waiting for to get into a cache. I think it's more fun. It's just a long country road, so it's pretty quiet out here most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe if we have time at the end of the hour here, I have comments on that as well, on doing them in groups.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
But yeah, thanks for that input. That's
Yeah.
good to know, to hear us finders from the hider's perspective as well.
Mhm.
Sure. Yeah, thank you.
The
Yeah.
builder. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. We have more hands have come up.
Okay.
We've
Tom.
got Tom and then Melissa.
Yep.
Okay, so let's see. Yeah, the best one that I saw was the last time I was in Yuma at the pavilion, was the one with the telephone booth.
Hmm.
You had to solve what numbers to punch into the telephone, and then it popped open. Yeah. So
Was that at the
I-
park where the event is held?
yes, it was. Yeah, it was several gadget cache makers, and you voted for which one was
I
the
see.
best.
Okay, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that and the one out in the wild that I did was east of Redmond, Oregon, and the coordinates led you to a rock pile which had a box full of kit tools to open the cache, and the cache was a couple hundred yards away, but it was like a bird nest cache, but it only has a slot in it, and you had to pick out the right tool to open the cache. And the key was, you had to put a balloon in through the slot, blow up the balloon, which stripped the lever and opened the cache. So, yeah, the other things were pipe cleaner and a couple other things, paper clip, and but the balloon was the key.
Yeah, who would have thought that?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing that. I think we've got Melissa next.
Okay, so you brought up red herrings. One of the caches I did down in West Virginia. You arrived at the cache and you had a lock you had to open, and they provided you with this huge ring of keys. Now, we looked at it and we went, okay, well, it's this type of lock. So that right there eliminated a lot of the keys. But what we were noticing is this is so heavy and we're trying to do it. And it's like, this is just too heavy. This does not make sense. This is not, you can't manipulate it to unlock it even. So we're like, there's got to be a different solution. And there was, and I won't share it because it was a cool gadget cache.
Spoilers.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to spoil it, but I know, yeah, it was just like, this is not making sense. And once we looked in a different direction, we solved it very quickly.
I do enjoy those as well. I found a couple of ones like that where you've got so many things to go through, and then the actual thing you need is underneath everything else, or a false bottom, or
Or a pocket, yeah.
or a pocket inside or something. So yeah, I guess those would qualify as red herrings for sure. So yeah.
So on YouTube,
Mhm.
so Lori, Seabeck Tribe,
Sorry.
uh, reminds us that Goblin Dust is a local cacher. Has one with balloons as well. It's on Bainbridge Island, so on the far side of our state. But Goblin Dust is one of the more well-known gadget cache hiders, creator hiders. Um, on our side of the Mississippi, along with bounce bones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they do very fine stuff for sure.
Yeah. And the Doctor Who um, phone booth that's out in front of my warehouse was donated. The gadget part of it was donated by Goblin Dust. And then some local cashers actually built the TARDIS. So yeah, I have one right in front of my warehouse. Unfortunately, somebody actually stole the lock. We had to put a lock on the front of it and then put the code and the hint. Um, had some folks that just kept coming through and harassing the cache. And some cashier opened up the lock and took it with them. But yes, I need to replace that. But nobody's been messing with it
No.
lately, other than that. I mean, they didn't steal anything else. So yeah, for sure. If you're ever out in the Seattle, Tacoma, Puget Sound area, definitely look for Goblin Dust caches or Bounce Bounce. And those two get together as well and put on amazing events that hopefully we'll get to the next one that they do soon over in Seattle area. Yeah. Well, I do believe we're at the top of the hour here. I'm showing, well, 6:59. So drinks are going to be full price here in less than a minute. So, quick, get your drink order in as our happy hour is nearly over. Yep, Melissa, I'm feeling water myself.
So Lori's telling us that Bounce Bounce and Goblin Dust are hosting the next events in Port Orchard on August 23rd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then she's also mentioning the other really good gadget cache hiders in our neck of the woods is Team Noltex.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, all sorts of them, that we know about. It's they're fun. I really like what we did with West Virginia when we were there 10 years ago. And it was
Oh yeah.
it was really enjoyed the West Virginia Tim those caches, and they were a lot like the one he put up in Morgantown, birdhouse shaped one and mostly mechanical puzzle. And made the mistake though of going out. Well, I guess you just couldn't help it back then. It's a Woodstock, going out in a group and doing them. And because in any group you've got the people that need to be there first, you know, uh, just they want to solve it. And they do. And so it's just so hard to hang back and not notice what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so this time at this Woodstock, we had the next day, Woodstock was over, and we're doing these the next day. There was a highly favorited cache called Radio Signals, I think it was called. And and that was a little gadget puzzle thing with magnets and tags and there wasn't a line of people there, but when we got there, there was somebody hiding it. And luckily it was
Replacing
down a
it.
little down a little grade and we could stand and wait till they were done. Couldn't see what they were doing. And then they come up and, hey, hi, how you doing? And yeah, it's fun. We go down. And while we were doing it, another group come up and did the same thing. They just waited till we were done. And
Yeah.
of course I let them know they'll never get it because I hid it better than I found it. But uh, that's the one thing I don't like about doing the gadgets with a group. I built one cache. It is electronic, and that was in the back of my head. What if you're with a group and that person always gets there first, they manipulate it and find it, and then when you walk up and it's your turn, I wanted it to be a different experience for you.
Yeah.
So basically the you had to ask you have to ask the cache if the cache is going to give you the coordinates now. And the cache will give to you over an LCD screen a really snarky response. And you have to do this 8 times, 7 or 8 times, depending on the randomness. And then it will give you the code, you get in, then when you leave, the next people up, you get probably 6 different answers again. There's a total of 50 answers that are
Random.
well, they start out random, but then I programmed it so if it had said this answer, it's now on the list not to be said again. So you get 8 different answers. And that was big for me to so people could enjoy it. I go do it, you go do it, and you get different experience.
Yeah.
And that was a lot like not a lot like, but the Gadget cache in the escape room in Morgantown had all of those. They had, it was different. There's 4 different ways that you needed or you could have solved the puzzle to get the door open. And so that just was a random selection as when you came up or after the last people left. And then once you got the door open, you had to get to a 4-digit number. And so there's 10,000 combinations of that. So you have to do your troubleshooting. And the thing is, to test the theory, went back and yeah, it's a different 4-digit number than the one when we originally solved it. So that, makes a unique experience for each one playing it. Plus, you can't give the answer out. Oh yeah, the answer is 2732. Oh yeah, it was for you that one time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I liked about that particular Gadget cache and uh and just yeah, when we come out to Gilby, we're gonna make time for ourselves. Back off, crowd.
Do our own
Yeah.
adventure. Yeah. Well, that particular one that we had to go down that little path, there was only room for a very small group. So you really did have to wait. And the
Yeah.
only place to wait was out of sight. So you couldn't see what was going on. But I've also had fun doing some in a group. When we had that small group put together 10 years ago when we were in Boonesboro, and we did a lot of West Virginia Tim caches at that time. And that was where some teamwork, because we all had different ways of approaching and solving gadgets. And where one person would have been really stymied, somebody else had that skill or knowledge to then complete it.
Yeah, but so I remember there's 7 of us that pulled on the little doorknob to open the door, and then one of us
Well, we had to do a lot to get to that point where it was the door appeared. Yeah, and everyone's pulling. Yeah.
And the key was to push it. And so,
Yeah. And I'm like, you push it. I had nothing to do with it getting to that point, but I was able to solve the end of it. So that worked out. Well, we are definitely now well over an hour. So this has been a lot of fun. I enjoyed hearing about different gadget caches. Oh, Charles, did you have something? I saw your hand wave.
Oh, no, I said goodbye.
Oh,
okay.
okay. So
But
yeah,
to go back to JD's things about the 4 digit combo, if you do it right, you should be able to get it in less than 15 or less tries.
Yeah. It's just the old troubleshooting, half and half and half and
Half
half.
and half, yeah, half, and you split the differences all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, that's what we
About
did.
15 tries.
That's right. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, Scott, I was just working my way up to our note from the sponsor tonight. Um, we've got they're back, special order travel bugs. If you have a code that you would like to be made into a decal for your car, could be the white, the classic white travel bugs. They're about 7 inches tall. We also have magnets that we make, and then the reflective ones as well. Or if you need to replace one, if you've had it for a while, maybe you've moved on to a new car or something happened to it. They do last a long time, but not forever. And they're back. We have rearranged our agreement again with the local folks that make them for
That's
us.
nice, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we do them in batches. So if you put in an order, it may be a couple of weeks, it might be close to a month because we have to batch them. It's a bit of a trek out to the company that makes these for us. And they don't ship, unfortunately. We have to go to them to pick them up. So yeah, put in an order if you're wanting to have any trackable code made into a travel bug, either decal, reflective decal, or the magnet. And that's where that order is. So I'm going to be doing a big push to get out. You'll probably be getting some emails if you are in our email, if you receive emails from us over the next week or so to get orders in. I like to get a big batch in and then go ahead and get those made.
Yeah, Lori, it's a road trip.
Yeah, it is a little bit. Yeah.
And then Lori says during the May 4th event with Bounce Bounce and Goblin Dust, she's saying I helped several cachers with the Cache Odyssey Washington cache gadget cache because it had several gadget components to it.
Oh my goodness.
My goodness.
Yeah. So somebody mentioned for a trailer, well, yeah, so the ones that we have currently set up, they're just the 7-inch ones. But we can make them, I've made them all the way up to 3 feet. So if you need something special, a different size, send me a message and we can do that. We make all different size ones depending, and colors too. We can do them in different colors. But currently we just have them set up as white or the reflective ones. But we've done, yeah, definitely some special color ones to go with somebody's special trailer themes in different sizes. So yeah, Jim, that you don't have, oh, you don't have metal in the back. Yeah, so magnet wouldn't stick. Yeah, that's important to know. More cars these days, you can't put a magnet on them. So you would definitely want the decal that actually sticks. Hey, Bob. You would want the decal that goes on the outside. We're not doing the static cling ones that go on the inside because most people have tinted windows and you're just not happy with them. You can't see them through the tinted window. So we're just not even making those anymore. Yeah, yeah, we could definitely do that for you, Charles. Yeah, send me a message and we can get a quote for you, whatever size that you need. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Ryan, that was pretty cool. There was a gal looking for those at Woodstock. And I happened to have one in my one of my sample boxes, sample crates. And at the end of the day, so she was able to actually buy it from me, even though it was one that was supposed to go into a crate. It's a sample, less to take home.
Yeah, it saved my back. That
One little
Point
decal. Yeah.
7 grams of weight. Yeah.
Yeah. And Nancy was just showing her box cutter. Yeah. Cash crate box cutter. Those are handy. Cool. Well, again, thanks everybody. So
I
yeah,
keep
go.
stealing them every time I go to your booth.
Oh well.
No, we make more. Yeah. I think I still have more even.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, yeah. We always give away a free little crate to everybody with goodies in it, if they sign up at an event. But not everybody can take those if they're flying and don't have
Yeah.
if they only have a carry-on, and you can't fly with that. So we always end up with a couple extras. Yeah, Ryan, you said that.
It is
Yeah,
finished today, huh?
yeah. If you can put in the link, that would be great. Yeah. Scott's asking for it too. There it is.
There it is.
So it's GCB7GWH. Cool. And we'll put that in
AC.
GCB7. Look, I'm calling bingo here. GWH. We'll get that into the chat over in YouTube. Cool. Yeah, we're excited for that. It's going to be fun. We'll be back in Kansas. In Hutchinson. Yeah, we're back in Kansas again.
We just
So,
decided that was near Wichita, right?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, which is actually pretty easy for us to
Mhm.
get in and out of. That's what we did last time. Well, one of the times we were in Kansas. Well, thanks everybody. Get your travel bug orders in. We'll be closing those orders probably within at the end of next week, if not a little sooner. So you can get those made up this current batch and have fun out there caching, everybody. Cashkins Club also went out today, and then Cash Crates, T-shirt Club, Cash Track Club, those will be going out here after the 15th. All right, everybody, cash on. Have a great week, and we will see you all soon. Take care. Oops, now I can't get to the close button.